welcome back to another edition of KCSN's 21 Questions, our question and answer podcast where you guys ask us questions, we answer them. We have different people here all the time. It was a little bit of a busy week. That's okay, because I got the man himself, the man behind the screen and on the screen frequently now. We got Tucker D. The D stands for the leader of a new, we're not even going to spoil it yet, but just a new squad, frankly.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I'll spoil it. It's the Big Bob Booster Club, baby. We look after Big Bob's huge performance against the Arizona Cardinals, leading the way, leading receiver in the game with Gardner Minshew at quarterback. We have started the Big Bob Booster Club. It is up and running. If you want to be a part of the Big Bob Booster Club, drop in the comment section that B emoji. You know, that red B emoji. That's what we're running with the Big Bob Booster Club. Love all the BBBCs out there. So free to enter, free to join. We do have merch as well. Maybe I'll put that in the link in there. But there is merch for the Big Bob Booster Club. I did decide to make that. But we're rocking and rolling here as we are going to pioneer. We are going to push our guy onto the roster. And it kind of makes you wonder, Maddie. Watching him move around kind of this preseason, kind of seeing him in that first game, it kind of makes you wonder why he wasn't on the roster, at the end of last year.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we do have some more Big Bob. We have a Big Bob question coming up a little bit later, so we're gonna, and it's about the BBBC. Gotta be very careful with my acronyms here. It's involving that, so we'll get back to this. I will say, it sounds like Andy said he was a little injured last year, though, so maybe. Before we get started with the rest of your guys' questions, we do have to shout out. Hey, listen, we got the KCSN golf tournaments coming up, and that means we have the pre-tourney raffle that is going on right now. Now, only a couple days left. The winners are going to be drawn on that football show on August 16th. That is when Tucker and Matty V are going to go through and pull out all the winners. So you just have a couple days left to get some of those donations in. You can do those at KC Sports Network on Venmo. You can go to givebutter.com/KCSN Golf. That is where you can, buy your tickets, get your tickets ready. I mean, we got Chris Jones signed jerseys, Xavier Worthy rookie cards, Dwayne Bowe jerseys. There's so many different things going on out there that you can get your tickets for. So that pre-tourney raffle, again, the deadline is August 16th. You have to have everything in. Then by the time that football show starts, or it is, you miss out. You miss out. You don't want to miss out, Tuck.
No, you don't want to miss out at all. So make sure there's a great value there too. With the pre-tourney raffle in terms of the tickets, 1 for 10, 7 for 20, I believe, or 7 for 50, excuse me, and 20 tickets for $100. So that's obviously your best value there. The 20 for 100, no math major, but go check that out. Some great prizes that BJ has cooked up here. That Xavier Worthy rookie card could be one of those if you're a card guy and it's a graded 10 card. So I mean, pristine, perfect condition. Could be worth a little bit of something, maybe. Maybe it's an investment. If that's what you have to tell the wife when you're buying raffle tickets, be like, "Hey, look, I'm doing this because it's an investment." The KCSN Foundation too. This doesn't just go to like paying people, right? Like I think sometimes a lot of those like foundation stuff, it's like, okay, what does this money actually go towards? What does my money actually go towards? This is straight up operating costs for us at the KCSN Foundation. So it goes to our Feed It Forward program where we help feed the homeless and kind of some food assurance programs in Kansas City. It also goes to our My First Game campaign where we take kids from the Boys and Girls Club out to Arrowhead for the first time. That's one of the really cool ones that we do. Thanks to our partners at Dick's House of Sport too for helping us out with that one. They really love that one, the Boys and Girls Club. Also the Operation Breakthrough, another thing that we do at the Dick's House of Sport. You saw BJ and I there last week, kind of hanging out, wearing shoulder pads, Zubas, you get getting the whole 9 yards. You saw us there last week, but they really do help us out with the Operation Breakthrough Christmas store as well. So this money will go straight to the KCSN Foundation operating costs. It's not going to go to my pocket, BJ's pocket, Maddie's pocket, Craig's pocket, Kent's pocket. Unfortunately, it goes to helping people. So I want you guys to know if you are on the edge about donating to the KCSN Foundation for any of these raffles. Also, if you're going to the golf tournament, we have some more packages, and I have seen some of these raffle packages that BJ's put together. They are insane. So if you're going after the tournament, going to be a good one on August 18th. But this is a way, if you can't get out to Creekmore Golf Course, that we can let you help out. Have an opportunity to help out. So yeah.
Perfect. No, that's big. If you can't make it there, you can still support these great causes. And yeah, it's out there. And got a couple days left, like we said. So now it is time. It is time to get your guys' questions. These are all coming from the KCSN Discord. If you subscribe to KCSN.com, you got an email, an invite to the Discord. You can go through there, register, and you can pop in the Discord so you can ask us questions. If you're a subscriber and you don't happen to know where your invite is, check your welcome to KCSN email. If not, you can reach out to one of us and we can, get you in there for that. So our first question here, we are going to go down through here and we're going to look at Tag the Tiger. What position group are you most worried about? And what is there a realistic fit? So Tucker, do you have a position group in particular jumps out to you is causing the most concern?
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be running back is the one that causes the most concern. It's that or defensive end, actually, are the two that I kind of waver between. I don't know to the back half of Tag's question. I don't know if there's a realistic fix for running back, truthfully, when especially looking at the market. And James Cook, by the time we're recording this podcast, signed a $12 million a year deal. So price going up for running backs. I don't think the Chiefs are ever going to be in the market for a record market-setting running back. But unfortunately, there's not like a ton of running backs out there on the free agent market if you want to add a little bit more depth. What really worries me about the running back room, Maddie, is the depth of that room. Running back is a position, and I feel like I've talked about this a lot on every podcast that I ever go on. Running back is a position that is a position of attrition. Like starting running backs miss an average of 3 games a year across the NFL. So you got to have at least one, maybe even 2 guys that you feel or 3 guys, I should say, behind your starter, that you feel comfortable in getting snaps and hanging on to the football and taking real reps and real carries in NFL games. I don't really feel that way with the Chiefs, truthfully. And that's the running back room. I know that like the running game hasn't ever been the strong suit, right, of an Andy Reid offense or of a Patrick Mahomes offense. You want Patrick Mahomes with the ball in his hands. I get that. But I think having a running back and having a running back threat could be good to open up the passing game, stuff like that. But I find myself a little worried about the depth of this running back room heading into the season.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think the running back room is probably one of the, if not the weakest one on the roster. I think you kind of got to it towards the end, though. Like for this team, if the running backs are merely fine or slightly below average or whatever, how much does it sink the team? Like, is that really something that's going to concern you? I don't know. It's like that's why they probably not that top spot for me. But I do agree. And the Chiefs are a weird spot because they are such a passing team. No team is ever going to play to stop the run against them, right? That's just never going to happen. So like you realistically don't need a running back that can withstand 20 carries in a game because they're just not going to use him that much. But if you can get somebody that can create a little bit on his own, can maybe be a little dangerous in the open field and do good on 12 to 15 carries, that could go a long way. So you don't need a stud running back, I think, to be overly effective. So with that in mind, I'm going to ask you, we're talking about fixes here. Yep. What would you trade for Breece Hall, running back from the New York Jets, who's been flirting with the trade market for a while?
Yeah, they clearly like the other guys that they have in the Jets, I should say. Clearly like the other guys that they have in that room better. And I think that loses a little bit of leverage that the Jets have, right? Is Breece Hall in a contract year? I don't have his contract up in front of me. Is this like his last year on his rookie deal?
Yes, this is his 4th season. So he's going into the last year on his deal, and he was a round 2 pick, if I'm not mistaken. Right. I think. So I don't think there's like the 5th year option.
Yeah, I don't think he's a first round pick. Yeah, so looking at it here, yeah, I mean
36th overall. It was close.
Wow. Yeah, no, I mean he's
never had 1,000 yards. 14 touchdowns over 3 seasons. He was a little banged up last year, so he only played 7 games. So what would you be willing to give up for that fella?
So really interesting. It looks like he came into the league at the same time Pacheco did, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And so just comparing how many games that they've played, 38 games for Isaiah Pacheco career-wise, not including playoffs, and 40 for Breece Hall. So if you think about like the durability has been one of the knocks on Isaiah Pacheco, it's pretty close to the same amount of games as Breece Hall, which is kind of oddly enough. I think if you add Breece Hall to a room like this, I feel a little bit better. What I would give up probably wouldn't be a lot. It would be a day 3 pick. maybe a fifth at the earliest, truthfully, would be the most of for this upcoming year. You could talk me into what would it be, like a fifth? A fifth next year would be the value of like a sixth this year. Is that kind
Ish.
of
Yeah.
how it works out?
It
I could
depends on
be
the
talked
team, I
into that.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's with Brees Hall. Brees Hall's weird because I feel like when you watch him, he looks like he checks a lot of boxes and he looks really good on the football field, but then his stats don't bear it out. Now, maybe some of that's the Jets, or maybe he's just one of those guys that just happens to look a little better than the results are. So here it is. What would you give up for Travis Etienne? He's another guy who's been flirting with it. Now, he has had 2 1,000-yard seasons in the NFL. He has 18 touchdowns over 3 seasons. This is also a guy, I believe, from the same draft. No, he missed his first year. So he was from the draft class before, but he has had 2,000-yard seasons coming off of his worst year by far last year with only under 600 rushing yards. But they seem to like Tank Bigsby behind him. They drafted Bashal Tutin. They have flirted with trading him as well. So what would you give up for Mr. Travis Etienne?
See, I would probably give up a little bit more for ETN. And truthfully, admittedly, I think when we've had these conversations off air, Maddie, I am not as big on Brees Hall as I think a lot of the other as the chat is, right? As like a lot of other people are. I don't know what it is about Brees Hall, but it's just one of those things where he has just like something that I'm just not too high on. I think that with ETN, I would probably be willing to move off a little bit more. Maybe a third, I would say, for ETN, just because of you feel like there's more dynamic playability there with ETN than what there is with Brees Hall. And that's what the Chiefs miss, right? Like they have Kareem Hunt, they have Isaiah Pacheco, who's never been known as like a big play guy. And they have Elijah Mitchell, who hasn't played football in a year, who has soft tissue injuries. And then Carson Steele, who is listed as a fullback, but isn't really a fullback, but who knows with him? He can't really hang on to the football. And obviously, Brashard Smith as well. I know a lot of people are probably screaming at us, telling us how Brashard Smith is going to be what the Chiefs need this year. But after the first preseason game, he looked like a wide receiver playing running back, which isn't that crazy of a thing to say because that's what he is. But I do think for ETN, like he brings something to this running back room. Like, you know, when you talk about a wide receiver room, you want to like build like a basketball team where you have a bunch of different types. That's the type of running back that I feel like they don't have. And I would feel better about moving a little bit more for ETN.
Here's something that's funny because I don't disagree with you in the fact that I think when we think of Travis Etienne, and he probably bears out, he's a little bit more of a dynamic player. You know, he's a home run hitter, so on and so forth. Brees Hall has had a longer rush. His longer rushes in every single year have been longer than ETN's, and only 1 year has ETN had a longer pass reception than Brees Hall. So Brees Hall's actually kind of been a home run hitter. That's kind of been his thing in the NFL, which I am with you is kind of surprising because he doesn't strike you as the fastest guy, but I remembered, I looked it up now, he ran a 4.39 at the combine. Like he was fast. Yeah. People thought. I'm with you. I don't think that I would give up. I think I'd probably cap out as a round 4 pick for either one of them. I think I lean slightly towards Brees Hall because he's a little bit more versatile. He's been a better receiver in the NFL than Etienne has been. I think I can trust him on third downs. I can run more with him, but like I don't think I'd be upset if the Chiefs traded a round 4 pick for either one of those players. It feels like Brees Hall's asking price might be higher than that, which again goes back to my point that he looks cooler on the field than I think his production has ever said. And so it's just that he's a weird one. Now for me, there's a lot of running back talk. My position that concerns me the most is cornerback. I'm already back to the question here. Cornerback, man. Listen, Shamari Connor in the slot isn't the move. I think we've seen that. We know that, but he might have to play there because they don't really want to move Trent McDuffie in there. Okay. Deal with that. Nazeeh Johnson. Whoo, buddy. It's been a long journey. Dave Merritt has a talk, and like I don't want to read too much into a presser, but like when you start talking with like, hey, when your first thing you say about a corner and like why you like him is, hey, when he gets beat, he bounces back well. I don't know if I want that to be the first thing. Like you go on to talk about his long speed and his quickness, and like, sure, maybe that's there sometimes, but man, he finds himself getting beat a lot, whether it's in the regular season and preseason and practice. I don't feel great about that. Josh Williams obviously isn't trusted. It doesn't sound like Noah Williams is ready to make that jump. I like Jalen Watson, but he's also often injured. And like, we've only really seen like half a year of quality starting play from him before he got injured last year. So like, there's a lot of questions in this corner room. And oh yeah, Christian Fulton's trying to come back from an injury. And even still, it's never like he's been a great or really good starting number 2 corner It's like I get real nervous about this cornerback room. It really seems like it's Trent McDuffie and friends. And years in past years, the Chiefs have got away with that, but it's because they've had like a handful of really big physical corners that they can just go throw hands at guys. And they had guys that played slightly differently. So when they would throw out their rotation, it was kind of hard to plan how to attack them because some guys were better in press, some guys were better in zone. It was hard to predict what they were going to do. This year, I just feel like it's going to be pretty straightforward, and the straightforward might be mid corners that are always going to be a bit of a problem. And when you're safety, you no longer have Justin Reed, you no longer have a Tyrann Mathieu type player who's helping cover for that. So I just feels like corner room's a little light, and it might cause a lot of pressure to be on this pass rush to make up for it.
It gives me, Maddie, a little bit, before we go on to the next question, it gives me a little bit of like Bob Sutton, bend don't break vibes of how those teams were kind of constructed. But and those teams had a way better defensive lines than what this team currently has. So it is, I think, a little bit of a concern. And I know that like there are some pretty valid concerns about the defense heading into this year and like what it can be compared to like in years past, because the defense, it's been the lifeblood of this team ever since Spagnuolo came over. But I mean, like the defense has been huge. I don't think it'll be as big of a factor this year. If it can be middle of the road, I think that like you can feel pretty good about it. But like that's what you should kind of expect with Steve Spagnuolo as a defense coordinator. And real quick, I looked up Christian Fulton's like career game logs. Never played a full season. So I don't know I guess this is going on year 6 right now for him. If you can. I think it's probably a fool's errand to anticipate him to play a full season. So again, when it comes down to a position of attrition, it does seem like the Chiefs have a lot of corners that go down. They've got a lot of corners that do have the injury bug. You talked about Jalen Watson there too. Unfortunate injury for him, obviously the concussion and last year's injury as well. But when he does play good, he plays good. That's the thing that you keep hearing about these cornerbacks. Like, well, when they're on the field, they're good. You just got to get them on the field. That's not a great spot to be in. I do agree with you, Maddie.
Yeah, and like I think we're kind of past the point for a fix. There's a couple veteran corners out there, but Steve Spagnuolo has a relatively complex system. I don't think they want to drop in somebody into it. Like, could Stephon Gilmore come in and play in the system, probably pick it up fast enough? Sure, his play style doesn't match what Spags likes, but like just theoretically a player of that nature, could they be dropped in and do it? Probably, because they've been around, but I don't think that's how this defense wants to operate. So that gets me a little nervous going forward. All right, we're gonna go to B Higgs. Is it too late to 3P? I mean, that's not his question, that's his name. But yeah,
that is his name.
Yeah, well, it's a little too late to 3P. What is one offensive concept that you would like to see the Chiefs start using or use more often, given their offensive personnel, and why? I'm gonna go first here. This is just a big argument one for me. The Chiefs, they have it. Every team runs it, but like I would really love the Chiefs to run more dagger, and that's essentially you're going to have a go route or a corner route coming from the slot. You're going to have a deep dig coming in behind it. You're going to have something that stretches the field vertical. Then you're going to have a deeper breaking route over the middle of the field that comes in underneath it. A lot of teams, especially in the Kyle Shanahan or more so even the Sean McVay tree right now, have this as like a staple to the backside of a lot of their play calls. This will be one of their backside plays. They're going to run some kind of clear out, and they're going to bring the dig in underneath it. And the whole point is, if your front side concept, let's call it your zone beating side of this for now, is going to work, is thrown out there, and you can't find something to go, by the time you would work to the backside of your progression, you have somebody breaking over the middle, and you're doing it by running these safeties off from these 2 high looks, and you're hitting in stride, sometimes the first window, a lot of times the second window of this dig route. The Chiefs just don't do that much. And I do think part of it is, I don't know if Patrick Mahomes doesn't like to throw. I don't know if Andy Reid just doesn't like to put it into his concepts as much. When the Chiefs run it, they kind of run it as the primary side of their concept. Like it'll be the front side of whatever they're trying to run. The back side will be more of just the space holding. And so I just would like to see them incorporate it more and throw it more. There's so many good passing attacks in the league. And if you go through it, they are all going to run dagger a ton. It's going to be in there a lot, and they're going to throw it a lot. The Chiefs don't seem to utilize it as much as the other offenses right now. And I think single high defenses kind of made it a little bit tricky. But now that everyone's switching off to this Fangio style, we're mostly playing a little bit more too high, a little bit more protective. you can it's a lot easier to manipulate that space and open up that dig route. So please run more of it. And you have a quarterback that has the arm to make this throw anywhere he wants. I don't see a reason that you shouldn't run it. And now that you theoretically have healthy wide receivers, you either have Worthy running through space at full speed. Rashee Rice is actually pretty good on in-breaking routes. Jalen Royals in college was good at this. Like, you have options for guys that can run this route, I think, relatively well.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept for me, Maddie. It's the first play that we saw in this preseason game was one that kind of like took me back because I was like, oh, I don't really remember the Chiefs running a lot of draws very often. I for some reason there's something about that concept that I think could really open up the Chiefs offense with the draw. Obviously, it's play action, right? Like, you're acting like you're passing, and then you hand the ball off. Pacheco got like a 9-yard run, I think maybe 8-yard run off of the first draw. But anecdotally, Maddie, I don't know if I remember off the top of my head many times last season when the Chiefs really ran a bunch of draws. I don't. That was something that I was like, I feel like this isn't something this team normally does. Now, since we saw it in the preseason, do I think we see it again? No, I don't think we probably see it again. But I think it could be something that could help diversify this run game, as we talked about, that's been kind of stagnant and kind of stale for the past couple of seasons. I think that the draws could really help diversify that a little bit and maybe keep some defenses honest when it comes down to it.
Yeah, and I really like the way they ran it versus the Cardinals because like it was a draw, but like I would call it, for me, it would be classified as a delay because a draw is going to have a little bit more of a pause. Like, Mahomes is going to pause, look around, and for a draw, in my mind, everybody just stays in their pass pro and they just kind of sit there and they try to angle people out. The way the Chiefs did it is whoever was uncovered, which both plays it ended up being Creed Humphrey, he went and climbed up to the second level immediately and found the next biggest threat. And the handoff came a little bit quicker. And I thought they ran it well both times. So that little delay I like because the Chiefs are a pass heavy team, right? If you are going to be able to create space by just delaying your handoff by even just a half a second or 1 second, and you have an offensive line that is stout enough, Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey, you're hoping Kingsley gets there, Josh Simmons, these guys are all, and even Jawan Taylor are all stout enough that they can, swing people out. They can just kind of like lock and key and just rotate guys out of the way. There's space there. So like, I do like that as a run concept to start mixing in. It obviously can't be your main run that you go with, but like, I like that as a mix up to some other stuff because they do see a lot of lighter boxes with space.
100%.
All right, let's see. Let's go through here. Okay, this is from Arrow. Which Chief would you guess has the most insane diet and or exercise regimen?
Ooh. I think you could go two ways with this, right? Like, insane, like, why are they eating that insane? Or like insane,
Sure.
like, oh wow, that's really healthy. I understand why they're eating that. Like, I could see maybe early days Travis Kelce having what his diet would be kind of crazy. Like, wow, that guy plays in the NFL and he's eating like that. That's a really good question. In terms of like super healthy and like what they keep their body in good shape. I Jody Fordson was the first one that popped out to me because he was a guy who always was very like lean. He was a very lean guy. He's obviously not on the team anymore. Big ups to Jody Fordson. But I don't know. Is there anybody that jumps out to you, Maddie, of like who currently on the team would have have a really good diet?
Yeah, I mean, like, so I think there was two different ways to look at it, right? Like, Patrick Mahomes' workouts are definitely, I would classify as insane because they're very sport specific. What Bobby has him doing is clearly working. Like, I want to be very clear. Like, this stuff works and you can see the rationale for it, but it's definitely a little outside of the box of what would be considered traditional, right? And so, like, I think, there's a nod for some quote unquote insane workout there. In terms of diet and just like workout in the traditional sense of, I think they're going 100% all the time. I mean, it's Leo Chenal. I don't even think it's close for me. I think that guy probably just eats like potatoes and red meat and works out. I think that's about all that's going on. There may be some fish every now and then, but like,
he's chucking tires too. Those are his workouts. He's just moving heavy stuff. Is what Leo Chanel's workouts are.
Yeah, I feel like his are pretty intense. Carson Steele as well. Actually, I feel like he gives me like he might eat. He might have like a wider variety of food that he eats for some reason. I think the guy with the pet gator probably is pretty experimental with his diet, but he looks like he stays in the gym pretty good. So, all right, that's where we're ending this part of it, but we got more questions coming out up after this little break.
Looking for tickets for your next event? Tickets for Less is your number one source. Save big on every purchase when you use promo code KCSN at ticketsforless.com.
I'm BJ Kissel, founder and CEO of KC Sports Network. Emprise Bank has been with us from the beginning. They were our first network partner, and they believed in the vision of what we were building from the start. I can't speak to any other banks or companies and how they operate, but I can tell you from personal experience and based on the growth of the network you're listening to right now, that if you have banking needs, call our friends at Emprise Bank. We've worked with so many great people there over the years, from Vicky and Aggie to Andrea, Lori, Jackie, Deb, and Aaron, and not to mention so many others that not just supported KC Sports Network, but supported our KCSN Foundation as well. But the best thing that I know is that if I have a question or a problem, no matter how dumb the question is, I know who I'm going to call and who I'm going to talk to. And I know that I'm getting an answer from someone that I can trust. And I know that person is there to help us. That's why Emprise Bank has always been and continues to be our partner in Possible. And they can be yours too. You just have to reach out. If you have a banking need, whether it's business or personal, hit me up. I will connect you directly with the same people that have helped us build KCSN. And that's our friends at Emprise Bank.
Folks, nothing beats hanging out with the boys on a hot summer day and watching some baseball. And the simplest way that you all can get in on the action is to download the Pick 6 app from DraftKings. It is crazy simple. Just pick more or less on the stats for two or more of your favorite players, and boom, you're in the mix for big cash prizes. And the best part is, Pick 6 is available right here in Missouri. Don't miss out on the fun. Don't settle for a smaller payout. Switch to Pick 6, and right now, new customers can get $25 in bonus picks with their first deposit of $5. Here's what you got to do. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and then use code KCSN. That's code KCSN for new customers to get $25 in bonus picks with their first deposit of $5. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit. Bonus picks expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Welcome back to 21 Questions, our question and answer podcast that we are in the middle of right now, and we have to keep rolling through these questions. I got a big one here. This is from Craig Stout of KCSN.
Whoa.
Pitch me on why he should join the Big Bob Booster Club.
Wow. Well, Craig, first off, thank you for your question, and thank you for your interest in the Big Bob Booster Club. Here's what I got for you. First off, Robert Tunyon is an incredible name, as is. Great name, great head of hair, if you're into that thing. He's got great looks. There's nothing
Craig is
better.
definitely into great heads of hair. That is right up his alley.
Great point. Well, I didn't know if he's envious or anything like that of other men's great heads of hair. There's something about the tight end position that I think Travis Kelce has talked about this a little bit, and other tight ends as well. It's a pretty gritty position, and they get to have a little bit of like the wide receiver glitz and glam to it, but they also get down and dirty. Big Bob is a guy who embraces the down and dirty. He's a guy that's going to mix in there with your tackles. He's going to get in there with the offensive lineman. And hell, he probably is a guy that maybe fits in a little bit more with the offensive line room rather than the wide receiver room. He's a guy that gets after it. He's a guy that puts in the work. He's not afraid to catch a couple balls if he has to across the middle. He is a guy who embodies everything you want as a football player. Went to Indiana State. I mean, this guy is an FCS grinder. He's from the state of Illinois. I mean, this dude, Midwest through and through. I think he embodies everything that you want as a Kansas City Chief and as you want on your football team. So, look, incredibly handsome, really gets down into the dirty work. not afraid to mix it up and get after it. That's what I got for the Big Bob booster club. And look, you just saw a performance he put on against. Now, granted, I do actually think that was the Cardinals ones that he was still going against. I still think that was the Cardinals' first string defense.
At bare minimum, at the worst, it was some like twos or like rotational guys. Like it wasn't guys not making the roster.
I mean, Buda Baker was out there on the field, so I mean, like
Buda Baker can only hope to stop the Big Bob booster club.
Does not even want even a little bit of a mix up with Big Bob. I mean, also the nickname Big Bob is awesome.
There you go, and the logo for the Big Bob Booster Club is phenomenal too. So like,
I did base it off of the Buc-ee's logo. I don't know if you could tell, but
good place to start.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're talking about cult followings. Buc-ee's has got it figured out. I had to copy who's got it figured out.
I was listening to your sales pitch, and you kept coming back to great head of hair. Do you think the Chiefs tight end room has the best heads of hair in the entire NFL?
I think
Kelce, Noah Gray, and now Big Bob.
Yeah, I think that the Chiefs tight end room is the best looking tight end room in the NFL, and I don't even think that's close. Like Noah Gray, phenomenal looking human being. I say this as a heterosexual male. Great looking guy. Travis Kelce, great looking guy. Robert Tonyan, great looking guy. They got three good looking men in that tight end room, and I want people I challenge people to find me a tight end room 3 deep as that good looking dude's in there.
Wow, if you were a tight end that was not named and you're on the Chiefs roster, Doug does not think you are a good-looking fellow.
Jared Wiley, I'm just talking about top 3. Jared Wiley, if you want a tiebreaker, you want to throw the 4 line in there? Good-looking dude. Ja'Cory Spivey.
Jake Briscoe's got some hair. I don't know if it has quite the same flow as everybody else.
No, that's a great point. I forget about Jake Briscoe because they're definitely IR redshirting him, by the way. Like I said this on last week's 21 questions. Like I was like, I think that they might be doing it. They're 100% doing that now. Jake Briscoe, I'm pulling him up right now. Yeah.
Got some hair.
Does have some hair. That is some hair. Wow. They do have now I gotta look up Ja'Cory Spivey. He's a tight end, right?
Sure.
Okay. I can't. I 100% spelled his name wrong.
Spelling.
Yeah, 100% spelled that name wrong. All right, I spelled it so bad it didn't even bring up his name.
Yeah, you just gotta go to the depth chart and work backwards from there. I think.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. I found it. Maybe not the best head of hair. Still a good looking dude though. I mean, he's got a good he's just got a good haircut. He's a nice, well kept man. Nice, well groomed man. Well groomed. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe they're the most well groomed tight end room in the NFL.
Trey Watson got some nice hair on him too.
I would be very. Oh, he had actually some sick hair at TCU. Ja'Cory Spivey did.
Okay. This has been hair talk. This has been hair talk, the tight end position, and it's only perfect that Craig Stout's question brought you these 5 minutes on hair talk. I think nothing else could be better than that. But we got listen, Lee87. I appreciate you. We got so many questions. We're about to burn through a bunch of your questions here because these are big. All right, who is the biggest surprise guy to make the Chiefs roster this season? I'm gonna go with Carson Steele. And it's not that I don't know if he's the biggest surprise, but I feel like a lot of fans kind of wrote him off once the Chiefs added Elijah Mitchell, brought back Mr. Kareem Hunt, and drafted Brashard Smith. I feel like people kind of pushed Carson Steele off to the wayside and said, "Oh, he's not making it." I think Andy still wants that fullback option. I think Carson Steele was the guy that came in after his running back reps were done to play fullback when they went to a fullback in the preseason game. I also don't know if he's not just quite simply a better running back than Brashard Smith is right now. So I think Carson Steele might actually have a pretty solid shot to make this 53-man roster just based on the fact that he can do a little bit of everything.
What do you think about the Chiefs signing Michael Wiley, former Washington running back? They signed him to the the roster. Let's see, what was this? Yesterday. I don't know if that spells anything for. I wouldn't put too much into it, but I'm curious to what they do. They're bringing in another running back as they had an injury to. I think they had a roster spot open up, but then they brought in a running back. I don't know if you've put any stock into that into where Carson Steele stands.
I think that they probably just want another body for stuff because I'm wondering if Mr. Kareem Hunt isn't going to play a lot more reps. I wonder if Isaiah Pacheco isn't going to play a lot of reps. I just wonder if they want an extra body. Maybe they don't like what they saw from Elijah Young, like, right? Maybe a Michael Wiley. I remember watching Michael Wiley at Arizona. Everybody kept saying Washington running back, and in the back of my mind, I kept going, he did not play for the Washington Huskies.
Commanders.
Yes. Played, yeah. I was like, I know for a fact he played for the Arizona Wildcats. I don't know what we keep doing here, but no, yeah, as the Washington Commanders last year. But yeah, I didn't mind him actually coming out. I thought he had 3-down ability for like a back of the roster kind of guy. So like, I get why you'd bring him in. I don't think he's really competing for a roster spot.
Fair. I think it's fair. I just wanted that I was going to bring up though. Here's one, might not be popular. Sky Moore.
Whoa.
Do I think that he should be on the roster? No. Would I be surprised if he ends up on the roster? Somewhat, but it's one of those things with like Andy Reid in this offense is like, well, he's been around, so he knows where to go. He can get the cardio in. Now, I don't think that should happen, but I do think that Chiefs fans would be surprised if that happened. But I wouldn't be wholly shocked if Sky Moore ends up on as wide receiver 7 if they keep 7 initially because they're waiting for a Rashee Rice suspension, right? So that's the one that I'm kind of thinking that could shock some people.
That would shock me. So we will see. That will shock me. I think there'd be a lot of people upset that it didn't go to Brownlee.
For sure, 100%.
All right, Lee 87 had another couple here. Let's go Chiefs first, and we'll get to some of the fun ones to round this out. If Patrick Mahomes goes down in week 1 and he's out for the season, how dare you, Lee? Absolutely.
What the hell?
Never. No. Bad. Get the spray bottle. But everybody else is available all season. What record would Minshew Mania guide the Chiefs to?
I mean, they have a pretty tough front half of the schedule, but then the back half after their bye week is pretty light. I still think that they could be a playoff team with Gardner. Am I crazy for thinking that, Matty? I think they could be a playoff team with Gardner Minshew.
The only thing that gives me pause about that is the division's gotten a lot better now. So, like, if you now all of a sudden you could find yourself fighting purely for the final wild card spot just because the division kind of creeps up on you.
I think that's fair. That's what I don't think they would win the division with Gardner Minshew quarterback. Yeah, it would depend if you're guaranteeing me health on every side of the ball outside of Patrick Mahomes. I think that they could sneak into the playoffs and get that last, but the last wild card spot is probably the ceiling, I think.
Yeah, I think they go back to being like the early-ish like Alex Smith years, right? Where you're probably making the playoffs, but nobody's scared to play you. Like, There's no real hope you're going anywhere. Yeah. And so that's like the one side of it. The other side of my brain goes, man, I think Patrick Mahomes has covered up a lot of holes for this team. So I don't know if you lose him when you've planned the entire season around him if they get there, right? Yeah. The thing you had with Alex Smith was you were planning all year to be that team. And so Andy's going into these games planning around having Alex Smith do his, run the ball, try to get him some easy looks. They don't get to do that for Gardner Minshew, who I do think is like a low-end capable starting QB to get you through some stretches. But so I kind of go back and forth. I think if it happens week 1, I actually think the Chiefs might end up flirting right around 500 and miss the playoffs. I have a little bit less hope than I would have had 3 years ago if you gave me a Minshew level quarterback, just because I think Mahomes is covering up a lot of flaws this team has going on right now.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. You are making a local rec league flag football team, and you get 1 current Chief, 1 retired Chief, and 2 KCSN contributors to make your team. Who are you adding?
Okay. 1 current Chief. I am adding probably Leo Chenal. You have to think of like guys who can play both sides of the ball. I think Leo Chenal can play both sides. 1 former Chief, I'm probably gonna go with Jamal Charles. I think he could probably play both sides. I think he could probably play both sides. 2 KCSN contributors. See, we could really get tricky with this. I'm gonna go Sean Barber, and that's KCSN contributor.
Sure, that's a good one.
That's what I was trying to think. I was like, do I go Jeff Allen or Mike DeVito on this one? It pretty much is how I was thinking of it. You know what? I will put KCSN contributor. Maybe I'm trying to think outside. Brandon McAnderson is a KCSN contributor. So like, there's some good ones I could think of. What was the other one? There's two KCSN contributors.
That was it. You had the current chief. You went Leo Chenal, retired chief. You had Jamal Charles. Then 2 KCSN contributors.
Oh, Derek Johnson.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, current chief. Give me Xavier Worthy, because I don't think in a rec anybody could run with him. I think it's just over, and he's athletic enough. I think he could also play corner. Retired chief Eric Berry. I think that he would make a lot of plays out there in a rec league kind of thing. Contributors, I like the Barber one. Give me Sean Barber, and I'm also going to go with Matt Hamilton, because I think he played some quarterback.
Hamilton,
Swanson. So taking Matt Hamilton.
QB guru Matt Hamilton, by the way.
Right.
I mean, he was there with he was in the Lions staff too with Stafford. He also with Chase Daniel in the quarterback room there, coaches quarterbacks currently. People forget quarterback.
Wait a second. I was also do we get a call Matt Castle a KCSN contributor because he was at one point in time? Can I get the Cast Dog in here?
Yeah, I think you can.
And I don't know. We might have to get the Cast Dog on this team out there slinging it with the hat, of course.
Yeah.
All right. 2 more questions. This one's from Lee, and I got one more. On the burger scale, how excited are you for Taylor Swift's new album?
It's been 2 years since we've done the burger scale.
How is this not seared in your brain?
No pun intended. Was it Westport? No, because it's
number 2. Town Topic is
Town
number 1 because of Andy.
All right.
And you got to take it up with Big Red, not me.
I know. Yeah, I don't know how much Town Topic's paying him, but Westport Flea Market clearly better, by the way.
I mean, clearly the best, but
so I'm going to give it a Westport Flea Market because it is better. So that is what I'm going. That is my top of my burger scale is Westport Flea Market. So it is the top of whatever it could be. I'm excited for it. Look, here's one thing. Taylor Swift does a hell of a job at marketing and getting people hooked in. Like, that is something that I am always so wildly impressed about in terms of her marketing, her ability to hook people and to get her to pay attention to people in an era that is so hard for people to pay attention to anything. Her ability to get people to look at her stuff, her ability to engage with people, and her ability to have people look for Easter eggs and stuff like that. Insane. It's really insane.
Tuck might take me out after the show and eliminate me, but I'm like a In-N-Out or a Whataburger, I think was our tier 3. It's just it's fine. I'll listen to it when it comes out. I'm sure my daughter will listen to it a bunch, so I'll hear it a lot. I am not going to go out of my way to hear it. It's nothing negative. It's just, it's not my favorite style of music. I can't really work out to it, and that's about the only time I listen to music on my own. And so, yeah, it's fine. I'm not unexcited for it. I don't think it'll be bad or anything like that. It's just not at the top of my list. And then finally, last question, yellow jerseys, lone fan. Okay. 1, yellow jerseys are terrible. Don't.
Yeah. We covered this last week. It's bad take. Sorry, Seamus.
No, yellow and black jerseys are terrible, by the way. If you try to get me with a black Chiefs jersey, just stop. We're not the Falcons. Okay. Maddie, if you had to switch to doing one of the other shows on the KCSN network, which one would you pick? This is a little tricky. I don't know. Okay, I do know. I can't do only weird games because I can't inject any more chaos into that show than there already is.
Chaos.
There's nothing. Yeah, I don't think it would be fun for a time or two, but I don't think I could add anything to that show that would make it better than what it is. So that one, I'm probably out. And they already go an hour plus every time. They don't need me on there prolonging that episode anymore. Your guys' vibe on that football show is already flowing. I don't want to really mess it up. I don't want to jump in there on that. Put me on the Kansas football show. I am just coming in there and I am going to be the biggest hater that anybody has ever seen. Just let me talk smack on the Jayhawks football team.
You and Slick Nick and
Yeah.
Kev.
Let's go.
Kevin Flaherty.
I can be an agent of chaos there for sure.
That's true. You see, like your thought process was like, where can I make the most mess? And I appreciate that.
Yeah, it is. All right, now this one's for you. If you had to take one member from the KCSN Chiefs shows and put them on a different, if you had to move some people around, where would you move them around from your side of things, where you get to see a little bit of everything?
You know what would kind of be fun? And I think we've talked about this before on 21 Questions, but I would love to see, and I know they've worked together before, but Seth and Matt Verderam on the same podcast, I think would actually be very funny because there would be probably a expletive laden rant at one point where Verderam goes on that would make just Seth like really uncomfortable, right? So I think that would be very funny. Again, of your agent of chaos, of just like, I think that would be with Kent hosting. Oh, dude.
I was going to say, so that's what my thought was. Like, I want to see Kent host a podcast. I want to just switch Kent for Josh.
Yeah.
Just let Kent try to wrangle in Nate and Seth for an entire just let him do that for like a month. Just like his brain might explode.
100%. And I think you can add more chaos to it by then adding Verderam and swapping it for Nate, because Verderam and Seth's personalities, I don't think could legitimately be more opposite. Of Verderam is, I'm East Coast. I don't care. I don't give an F about anything. And Seth is just like so Midwest nice. And he doesn't cuss. So like they legitimately could not be opposites personality wise, and having Kent try to keep the peace with them, I think would be hilarious.
Keep the peace and keep them on track. Like that's what I want to see. I want to see Kent like try to like, oh, you don't get to go on a 22-minute like monologue right now about this topic that spans from sports to religion to movies to music to what you ate last night. Like, and just like watching Kent melt down trying to control that would be different voices coming in different homes.
The crosstalk, no, he couldn't do that. And like Verderam, I just see Verderam doing his rant about like how he thinks that like war and expected stats are garbage and like awful. How he's like advanced analytics are ruining the game. Just watch the game. And just how that would all go down would be absolutely beautiful.
I think that'd be a good one. I appreciate it. I think that's great. I appreciate you guys for asking us these questions. We had a good time with this. Didn't have as many questions this week, which is understandable. Like, everyone's getting ready for the Chiefs here, but you guys asked some great ones. I'm glad we got to expand on them. And we'll be back next week with 21 more questions. As long as you get these questions in, we are going to be here answering them for you. So enjoy the Chiefs game this week, fellas and ladies.
And ladies.